Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, find your intersection to stand out.
Big Success with the professor and Mary-Lynn.
Differentiation is so important in today's marketing environment, which is why it's necessary to find your intersection to enhance your personal and professional brands.
What's an intersection? Well, it's simply how your interests and what you do gives you something that's unique in the marketplace.
Now, to help you find your intersection, we're going to share our personal intersections along with the intersection for big success. So, Mary-Lynn, why don't you kick it off?
Shall I go first?
You shall.
Well, for 25 years, I had a brand, radio DJ, or radio personality, or radio broadcaster, however you want to say it.
Show host.
I worked on the air in several cities across Illinois, including Bloomington, Peoria, Champaign, and Chicago. When I first left the only profession that I'd known back in 2007 to start this business, Big Success, I felt a bit lost. I didn't know how to explain what I was now, and people still thought I was on the radio. I wasn't on the radio, and people would say, "Hey, I heard you on the radio today." Like,
there were times
I would just smile and say, "Okay."
There were times, I remember one night specifically, you hadn't been on the air for like two years, and somebody came, "Hey, great show today."
I just learned to smile and go with it, but I felt like I couldn't escape my professional identity. And then one day, when I was lamenting to you, George, about all of this, about, being not being a broadcaster anymore, it hit me. I was defining myself too narrowly. In fact, you kind of pointed that out. I was defining myself as a radio broadcaster. But through our blog, our podcasts, social media, our business articles, newsletters, our interviews, I was still broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
So once I broadened my definition, I was able to embrace my past profession and see my intersection, radio broadcaster and new media entrepreneur. I have a unique understanding of both traditional media and online media, and this enables me to help people learn how to broadcast their message in whatever format makes sense for them. And broadcasting a good message is essential to having a successful business. So there you go.
It's interesting, Mary-Lynn, how what you ended up with was not so far down the road from where you were, but it was still a very important distinction to make.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice how the old and the new meet in this intersection for me.
And that's what you're often going to find to be the case. So, all right, my turn.
Yes.
I don't even remember a time in my life when I didn't want to own a business. That's just the fact.
It's ingrained.
In fact, some people introduce me as the man who's never had a job. One of my colleagues literally introduces me as the man who's never had a job.
Oh, wow.
Now, I've worked at the university for almost 30 years now.
Right.
So that's a job.
That
I've
is.
had jobs before, but he thinks I've never had a job. But it's true. I've owned my own business for years, decades even. And so my intersection, I believe, has become that I have this combination of real-world experience along with actual academic teaching, as I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. I've done both of them for a long period of time, practicing in the real world while staying in touch with all the academic theories.
That is so unique because you don't normally get both with a professor at school. Usually you get somebody who's only been in the academia world and not in the real world business ownership world.
Or not simultaneously.
Yes. That gives you the ability to really give your students amazing knowledge that they just wouldn't get from anyone else.
Well, and thank you for that. But what I have to say, what's fun about it for me is that it helps me understand with the businesses we work with and our own business, how we connect strategy to everything we do, how the money, the marketing, and everything has to flow to maximize results.
And that brings us to the intersection for our business, Big Success.
That's big with 2 G's.
And has been from day one. So our company is the intersection of life and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, we say that even if you don't ever in a million years, never want to start your own business. Because you still have to think like an entrepreneur because you are in charge of a very important enterprise, your life.
Yeah. Nobody else can run it better than you.
Hopefully not.
Well, think about it. In work, between global competition and the fast pace of technology, Everyone needs to be nimble and ready to shift towards opportunity. Entrepreneurs understand how to deal with uncertainty, so the ability to think like one is an advantage, even if you aren't going to be one.
That's right. Now in life, to live life on your own terms, as we define big success, you have to know what those terms are, then do whatever it takes to make it happen. Maybe you pass on a promotion because you want to spend more time at home with your family and kids and wife or husband. Maybe just the opposite. You take the promotion because it helps you fund that business idea that you'll launch on the side. Entrepreneurs know there's sacrifice in any decision.
So now we've given you 3 examples of intersections.
Mm-hmm.
Time to think about your intersection, those places where your interests and what you do meet. It's so important to think about this and to figure out what your intersection is, because it gives your brand meaning.
It opens new doors.
It gives you leverage.
It puts you in touch with more people.
It helps you stand out.
And it leads to big success.
Now, before we go, we have a big announcement.
BIGG.
Our podcast has been named the top entrepreneur podcast in Illinois. We're number 1 on FeedSpot's top 5 Illinois entrepreneur podcasts on the web.
That's fantastic. Number 1.
I mean, wow. It made our day when we got that email.
Yes,
we got the notification from the founder who said that panelists chose us from thousands of podcasts online, and then they rank their top 5 list by relevancy, authority, social media followers, and freshness. So I guess, George, that means that our intersection of entrepreneurship and life resonates with people.
That's right.
And we are so thankful.
And we thank you for listening and subscribing.
Thank you so much. And until next time,
here's to your big success.
Find Big Success at BIGGSuccess.com.